Greetings, my name is Noelia Feng, and this is assignment 3, campaign analysis for AMB220 Advertising Works. Before I start, I want to give a special thanks to lecturer Sasha Wang and tutor Trinity Chow for providing a deeply knowledgeable unit. The campaign I chose to analyze is the People Australia Needs campaign from Bank Australia, developed by Common Venture, released at the beginning of this same year, around February. Now, the type of message strategy utilized for this campaign was the brand image by building an image and personality about the service, with a strategic use of the target audience as relatable personalities to appeal towards a human and emotional connection. A positioning strategy is also integrated by getting a certain position in consumers' minds as a bank that celebrates individuals whilst amplifying the power and reach of customer advocacy, being that the major selling argument. The big idea is based on using identifiable, relevant, relatable, and real customers for them to communicate and empathize with the growing number of socially conscious consumers who look to support purpose-driven brands. This completely taps with the consumer's insight done on the target audience on assignment 1, which is stated in here, and you can pause to read. This campaign gives a voice to a varied spectrum of Australians and looks into who they are and why they partnered up with Bank Australia by sharing and amplifying stories. Even though it had a good mix of message strategies types, resonance could have been included more. Though it resonated with the viewer, it was harder to tap into new customers than loyal ones because they had no selling point to cling on. For the analysis of the creative strategy, it is focused entirely on transformational or emotional appeal through social or psychological needs, which was completely fitting, making it a relatable customer-focused brand driven by actual customers. This allowed the means for the strategy to be both attention-grabbing and memorable. The affect dimension out of twofold and Junju, 4 dimensions of creativity, was the principal one used because it was clearly emotionally engaging and likable. The main creative principles used during the campaign flawlessly were that they kept it simple, it impacted with a big idea and a brilliant execution, appealed primarily to the heart, not the head, with the friendly, human, and local tone of voice, preaching to the loyal and converted, and made the message sympathetic to the medium by appealing to the sense of achievement and success. The campaign was launched with 3 hero customers, with 4 additional consumers, being that in total 7 Bank Australian consumers. Multiple interviews were conducted to determine each customer's core belief, personal story, and light bulb moment when they realized their money was sitting with the bank that potentially invested in harm. The only principle that wasn't followed was that even when it was built in with ingredients for long life and repetition, this wasn't taken into account when the campaign was finalized. It was a great idea with a great execution, with the little tweaks of needing that follow-up when the campaign finalized. For the analysis of the media strategy, the campaign includes out-of-home, radio, television, and guerrilla, video on demand, paid and owned social channels, digital display, content partnerships, and the customer's own personal and business profiles, which can be summarized into branded entertainment, being the combined use of audiovisual programs such as TV, radio, podcast, or videocast, and a brand to market a product or service. With strengths such as broad exposure, frequency, support for other media, source association, recall, bypassing regulations, greater acceptance, and easier targeting. Most of the media is not as accessible anymore, meaning no trace of the campaign on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, nor the website since about 4 days ago. But here are some of the billboards, which are proof of guerrilla marketing. Also, there's some available YouTube videos, which you can see here. They are about 8 in total, and this channel has a small following on the platform. Most of the media channels were appropriate to reach a wide audience, including the target market, specifically YouTube, where choosing and targeting has been made easier, allowing publishers to define who they want to reach, including demographic groups and interest. A lot of noise was made through certain platforms such as the web page and guerrilla marketing like billboards, but by further researching, I couldn't find more traces of the campaign. As I said before, not on their social media, nor the web page since it was relaunched and completely redesigned. Even the YouTube videos that are available have the comments silenced with no opportunity for the audience to express themselves. I do remember certain actions that were taken, but now is incredibly hard to find more information and recall them. Since the campaign suddenly disappeared without me knowing the exact date, I can only say my opinion on what I remembered, which was a very active presence that mentioned consistently their values and beliefs, had a very integrated communication with key branded elements across platforms. The website matched with this description and was visually appealing and clear for anyone to distinguish the campaign. I would recommend more transparency on what happened. If a scandal had a breakthrough or simply the campaign finished, it shouldn't have vanished just like that, making the statements from the campaign lose relevancy and seem forgotten. The transition between campaigns should be smooth, just as it's mentioned on Factory 360, a creative experiential marketing agency. Just because your campaign is over doesn't mean that the hard work has ended. What happens after a campaign can be almost as important as what happens during a campaign. Some of the relevant ethical or regulatory considerations for these campaigns are from Section 1, Competitor Complaints 1.2. Advertising or marketing communication shall not be misleading or deceptive or be likely to mislead or deceive. While playing with emotion and persuasion, it is very important to draw a line, which has a direct correlation with 1.3. Advertising or marketing communication shall not contain a misrepresentation, which is likely to cause damage to the business or goodwill of a competitor. And 1.4. Advertising or marketing communications shall not exploit community concerns in relation to protecting the environment by presenting or portraying distinctions in products or services advertised in a misleading way or in a way which implies a benefit to the environment which the product or service do not have. And while we're working closely with actual consumers, Section 2, Consumer Complaints, is crucial too, especially 2.1. Advertising or marketing communications shall not portray people or depict material in a way which discriminates against or vilifies a person or section of the community on account of race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, age, sexual preference, religion, disability, mental illness, or political belief regarding portrayal of people. This campaign tackles especially the common ethical issues relating to banking by increasing trust and assuring that the money invested is used transparently and according to the values of 7 Real Bank Australia customers and regulations. All of this is done with the explicit goal of increasing awareness that every action and decision, such as choosing a bank, might have a significant future impact. With all of this said, this concludes my presentation. Hope you liked it. Thank you.